This area upstream has been cut off from salmon and other species accessing it for over 30 years. Because of the success of this fishway, fish can now access that habitat again, and we're excited about the way this ecosystem can thrive more fully because of this project.
About 10 years ago, in 2013, when the A Rocha team went and did some stream assessments of different tributaries, Jacobson Creek had a blockage of a perched culvert that made it impossible for Chinook salmon, coho salmon to make that jump and be able to swim upstream.
When partners came together to think about ways to restore connectivity within this watershed, we arrived at more of a natural design where fish are moving up to a pool that's now connected straight into those culverts.
This project allowed salmon to be able to access 3.8 kilometers of historic spawning grounds that they hadn't been able to in over 30 years. Pacific salmon have been on a marked decline, considered a keystone species under threat from a variety of impacts, including climate change, habitat loss, human infrastructure. Salmon spend 2 to 4 years in the oceans growing from juveniles into adults, and when they return to their natal streams, they bring all those important nutrients with them, nutrients that otherwise wouldn't be added to forest ecosystems. And so when they return to spawn, the females lay their eggs, the males fertilize them. After they spawn, they'll die, ending their cycle of life, but their bodies provide food, nutrients for the forests and also the wildlife. So bald eagles, black bears, river otters.
We finished the project construction, and then part of the restoring of this place and the creation of a healthier watershed in this area was also taking out a lot of invasive species. And through the help of staff and volunteers, planted many, many native species. And that's both going to create a healthier river by the connection between the land and the water, and also create habitat for birds and other species. And then when the rains came, the salmon run started, and we've already seen coho and Chinook salmon. We've seen 20 to 30 Pacific salmon adults upstream of this former block area in the habitat that they can now access.
This project would not be possible without partnering with landowners.
DFO, Fisheries and Oceans Canada, and Pacific Salmon Foundation is also a major player in providing funding and support, and so we want to thank all the people who were involved. A Rocha's mission is to care for creation and equip people to do likewise. And human influence had degraded access to the habitat upstream. But this story of reconnecting 3.8 kilometers of historic spawning and rearing habitat for Pacific salmon in this watershed is an example of the ways this project communicates hope and the ways in which people can have a positive influence on their watershed and on their place. People can create a more healthy watershed to rebuild those relationships and demonstrate the way in which people and nature can thrive together.